Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Sick? Do I sound congested?
No, you sound a little drunk, which is impossible.
Well, that's just the Dayquil and the NyQuil that I took at once.
Sure, just the fun, counteracting
yeah.
medications.
I mean, I saw Leslie Knope do it once, and so I thought that it worked. I forgot to keep watching when she saw that everyone turned into crabs.
So maybe by the end of this,
I'll be fucking tripping balls.
I will turn into a little crab. I'll become my manifestation.
No.
And it'll be great.
If I turn into a crab, this podcast is over. What can I do?
That's it, folks.
How can I help the world?
Oh my god. Ellie's having a mental breakdown.
What would I do? I would just come out of the bedroom recording, and Chris would be like, excuse me, what happened? You became so salty that you turned into a crab? Like, what?
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so fucking, Enneagram 7 of you to be like, there's so much stuff I had to do first.
I can't go on. How do I drive to work? I'm a crab.
What's the point?
Just me tomorrow trying to put on my microphone as a teacher. It's like, hello, hi, I'm your same teacher. I'm just a crab now.
I just got little crab legs.
This is stressing me out. I don't want to be a crab.
My stomach hurts.
This is honest to God, this feels like the Soviet Vine. The car is closing in on me right now. I cannot escape.
This is your fate.
No, I don't want to be a crab, Cody. Make it stop. I like eating crab. I don't want to be a crab. And that gives me more of an existential crisis.
That's true. Would you, have a more, a moral quandary over...
Can crabs eat crab?
How did we derail so quickly? That was a record.
I just want crab a little bit right now.
Oh my god.
Just a little bit.
Just
Just a little bit, And mainly that's just because I want butter,
yeah. That's true. Crab is mostly butter,
it's
if
true.
You think about it.
It's just a little bit of the seed, and it's also mostly butter. I don't want to be a crab.
It'd be like that.
It'd not be like that.
Yeah,
no.
I think it's gonna be okay.
Welcome to Into the Twilight. I'm not a crab. Cody's a crab.
Welcome to In the Twilight. I am a crab.
Cody's a crab. I'm not a crab.
Yeah. Welcome to the fold, brother.
I'm not a crab. You're a crab.
Not with that attitude.
Hey, then fine.
So be it.
So be it.
Alright. We'll see.
Just a little crab wearing our merch.
Nice transition, baby.
A little.
We got merch.
A little crab that says "Get Bit" on it.
Oh my god. We completely changed our brand.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
though.
if you missed it on last week's episode, we got t-shirts and hoodies. And not hoodies, but sweatshirts, crew necks.
Yeah.
Baseball tees.
They're so good.
And they're so cute.
They're so cute. I cannot wait to see people get them and take photos of themselves in them.
If y'all don't send us photos, I'm just quitting this whole thing.
This podcast is done.
Doing here? It's over. It's over.
Yeah. If I don't see cute photos of you in these ridiculously cute baseball tees, then what was the point?
BT dubs.
I'm so excited.
Which one did you get? Did you get the baseball tee?
I did get the baseball tee. I got Chris a baseball tee too, so that when we go to PodCon, I can be like, hey, merch.
Cute.
We have it.
That's so cute.
I know. I asked him if he wanted one, and I was like, you don't have to. And he was like, I would like one. I was like, that was the right answer.
Wow, love is real.
Yep. So yeah, what did you get?
I got the charcoal t-shirt, the
Mm.
tee, because she's cute,
Yeah.
and I like a nice tee.
Hell yeah.
And she's subtle. I almost got the crew neck. I might cave in later and get a crew neck, because those seemed very comfortable as well.
They're so soft.
Yeah, I just was stressed on the color, so I just went with something I knew.
That's fair. Yes, they're so comfortable. It closes on the 21st, which
yeah,
means
so do not sleep.
do not sleep.
Don't.
And they'll be arriving right at the beginning of January.
Yeah.
So you'll start the new year right with some fancy Get Bit merch.
Yeah,
which
baby.
is awesome.
Bonfire.com/get-bit.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
It is like everywhere on our social media too.
Yeah, like,
You can't miss
come
it.
on.
And it's everywhere on there, not only to celebrate 2 years and also 100 episodes for next week.
Yes.
Gross.
Yikes.
But also we're trying to fund transcripts for all these podcasts. So
Woo!
get on it. About every 2 pieces of apparel is one podcast transcript.
Which is
So,
great.
Yes.
That's so huge.
So do the damn thing.
Yeah.
Cody, how the hell are you?
I'm great.
Oh.
And the main reason for this
Is?
is because Andy Samberg and Sandra Oh are hosting the Golden Globes.
What?
It's like they just, like, went into my brain, went into my, like, fucking Sherlock-era mind palace and took out, like, my secret fantasy fanfiction that I've been writing forever.
Yes.
And just made it real life.
What was it like to be kidnapped by the Golden Globes team and have tea with them and basically have all your dreams come true?
I think I got probed by the Golden Globes.
I think you did.
And, like, I'm cool with it. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
Because it was a dark moment. It was a dark 24 hours because we realized that Kevin Hart was hosting the Oscars this year.
Right.
Or next year. Whatever. Time is fake. So we were all, like, collectively mourning on Twitter.
Yes.
And then, like, the God-given light that the Golden Globes often is, she was like, here, have this gift.
Right.
It's the 2 best people in media right now, and they're going to be hosting this award show together.
Yes.
Here you go. Here's this gift. Just take it.
Here's the
Ugh.
thing
Yeah.
about Kevin Hart. I feel
Yep.
like I haven't stopped seeing him this year.
Yeah. This motherfucker will not leave us alone.
And I don't understand why that's happening because he's been around for always. So
Yes.
why this year? Like, why is my real question. And him inundating himself into the public has made it so that I care even less than I did before. I'm incredibly excited for Andy and Sandra to be hosting because, wow. I mean, whew.
Just,
It's
like,
so
imagine
great.
what Sandra's hair is gonna look
No,
like.
you shut up. Stop.
She's gonna be in such, like, a nice dress or, like, a pantsuit or something, and her
a
hair is gonna be
pantsuit.
so good, and I can't handle it. I can't do this anymore.
Oh my god. Is Andy going to be wearing glasses is the real question.
Oh, a very important question.
2 things.
Yeah.
1, this weekend, I saw Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
All I can say, wow. John Mulaney, great. The whole cast in general, wow. It is like my favorite. It's one of my like top 3 movies of this year for sure.
Aw.
Warning for people that do see it though, it's like a huge epilepsy warning for like the whole film.
Sure.
The animation style is like amazing, but they rely on a ton of like bright flashing graphics throughout most of it. So
Sure.
just keep that in mind if you do end up going to see it. But it's so good, Cody. They blend in
Yeah.
so many different like design styles, and for most of the time when I go to see superhero movies of any sort, I leave feeling really, I don't know, I feel leaving kind of defeated because I don't know a lot of like the comic book lore.
Sure.
And so I'm made to feel like an outsider. And this one, like no matter if you read the comics your whole life or if this was the first Spider-Man movie you've ever seen, they like welcomed you in and were like, no, it doesn't matter. Like we're telling a whole new story. So It doesn't matter where you come from. And it was really comforting, like because it's not normal for that to happen. So that was super cool. The other thing is last week, and this is my middle school corner, is that some of my students popped into my room during my prep and asked me if I could remake a Vine for our middle school news.
Wow.
And Cody, my whole life has led up to this exact moment.
Sure.
Yeah. And so, based on what you know about me, what Vine did I make?
Oh, God.
Based on, I had, like, 0 prep time, right? And 0 materials. So,
yeah.
What is one of the easiest ones that is student appropriate to remake?
Road work ahead?
Yeah, that was, yep.
I'm so yeah!
That was it.
Nice!
Yep. I just drew a sign on there and remade it. It was amazing. One of the 3 students that came by had not seen it, which, R.I.P., you know?
You gotta educate the children. That's why you're there.
Exactly. But I've never felt more drawn to my calling as an educator than in that moment in time.
Yeah.
But I do want you to picture that these group of students was going around to a median age of educators that is about, like, the median is about 40, asking if they could remake vines and having to go through that whole process of what a vine is.
Sure.
So,
and you came in as their savior.
Yes, they were like, oh, yes.
I am with you, kids. I know.
I understand.
I am also 12.
Yeah. Hello, fellow youth.
Let me twist my baseball cap backwards and sit on my chair.
Oh, hello, teens. I didn't see you there. I was just riding in on my skateboard.
Sorry, I was just also being a cool teen.
I was just polishing up my hoverboard. Weird.
Ever heard of TikTok? I haven't and know what it is.
Can I direct your eyes to some current events, please?
I would love that.
You speak too soon. I would like to bring your attention to the website called The Cut.
Yep.
Specifically, this article written by Gabriella Paella that reads, 9 terrible sentences men wrote about sex this year. Which, wow.
Buckle up, everyone.
Backstory. This article was found for me by my lovely boyfriend, who said, hey, this might be of interest for you for your podcast, which he said to me over lunch this past weekend while we were at Robin. And I was like, oh, okay, can you read a bit of it for me so I can figure out if it works or not? And he was like, out loud? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'm eating. And he kind of looked at me, and then he read it out loud, and I knew nothing about it. And so all of a sudden, he starts reading this quote out to me. Now, mind you, I know nothing about the title or anything. He just reads, and I quote, blinding, breathless, shaking, overwhelming, exploding, white, God, I come inside her, my cock throbbing. We're both moaning, eyes, heart, souls, bodies one. And I say, Christopher, please, God, stop. We're in a Red Robin.
Nobody is allowed to get horny in a Red Robin. That is the law.
There is no place anywhere that there is bottomless steak fries, you should not be allowed to get horny.
You cannot get horny when there's a mascot of a giant fucking bird. You cannot. You can't do it. It's against God. It's against everything. Also, there's no punctuation in the sentence.
Nope, there is none. And
it's
so
just like all of these words vomited out. Maybe like 1 comma would be good.
Just
maybe.
1.
Like at least just think about it.
So I had a bite of my bottomless steak fry, in my mouth. I drop it while staring up at him, and I just look at him, hoping that nobody else is staring, and I say, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Well, I thought you wanted me to read this loud." And I said, "Read what? What is this?" He's like, "Oh, it's just, what? It's sex stuff." And I was like, "Just send it to me, please, God." So...
Don't you know where we are, Chris?
So, yes, these are some of the worst quotes about sex that men have wrote. Can you please... These are listed from 1 to 7, or 1 to 9 here. Can you tell me some that stick out to you, please? Because I think you had some opinions.
Let's talk about Haruki Murakami for a moment.
Please.
All right. I have not actually read any of his stuff.
Oh.
Which I know
I've had
the giant IQ84 on my desk for probably 17 years now, just staring at me. And I will probably never read it because it's 1,000 pages in 5-point font. So, maybe it's not gonna happen.
Sure.
But he's been known to not know how to write women.
Right.
Period. And this was apparent because I saw Burning today, which I thought was going to be my favorite movie of the year. Turns out that was incorrect.
Turns out no.
Because of that, turns out no. And turns out he is on this list twice for his book Killing Commendatore.
Yes.
Killing Commendatore. I'd just like to point out number 2 real quick.
Please.
That says, "Again and again, semen poured out from me, overflowing her vagina, turning the sheet sticky." So, Haruki Murakami's never had sex before.
Nope.
Haruki Murakami's a virgin. Doesn't know how bodies work.
Nope.
So that's cool.
No, I think what that sounds like to me is when you tip over food in bed.
Yeah, this is just me on a Tuesday night when I told myself I wasn't going to be eating in bed anymore and I didn't listen to myself.
Yep.
And then I have to wash my sheets again, so...
Yeah, that's me about 20 minutes ago when I tried to pet my cat and drink ginger ale at the same time, and oops, my heated blanket got some ginger ale on it. And that was just ginger ale pouring from my bottle, not from me.
I love the idea that cum is coming out like a fucking hose. It's just
ugh.
It's just fucking, it's gotta push out, overflowing your vagina to it just it comes out. I hate it. What? How powerful do you think your fucking flow is, my dude?
None of these men have had sex before.
No.
Let's just lay that down really quick.
Let's be fucking clear.
Anyone that says, quote, "Stunai was locked in, balls deep, ready to be ground down by the enameled pepper mill within her." What? No. That's nothing. That's nothing that you just said. I hate it.
One of these motherfuckers had the gall to reference a gobstopper, which, how dare you?
That's a sin.
You bring a token of, childhood wonder and joy into your gross sex thing.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you, Luke?
One that really just... is the one that says they bring in snakes, which, yikes, is... And I guess it's from the same book, Scoundrels, which I just quoted before, which says, quote, "Her vaginal ratchet moved in concerta-like waves, slowly chugging my organ as a boa constrictor swallows its prey." I need a stiff apple juice.
Yeah, on the rocks.
On the rocks, Paul! I need...
Ted
Danson!
Boys, we got a Scream Rant Corner. When will they might sponsor us. Who knows?
Who knows? When it's too late.
I do, before I get into this headline, there is a trending article.
Please.
That is 20 Pixar characters reimagined as villains. Do you have this on
I
your
do.
sidebar? Isn't it the most horrific image you've ever seen in your life?
Made of nightmares.
It's horrible. It's like Dory and Marlin, maybe? Whatever. As like horrible piranha fish people with bad teeth and horrible soulless eyes, and I hate looking at it.
I also have Red Dead Redemption 2, 19 horses ranked, worst to best.
Ooh, that's a good list.
Yeah, so that's very good.
Anyway, this Twilight piece of Screenway Corner is 20 wild fan theories that completely change the movies. Whoa.
There's some buck wild shit on here.
Yeah. Anything
that catches your eye right away?
One is just like an offense to God himself.
Is that 17?
It is 17! That's Sirius Black from the Harry Potter series and Jacob Black are brothers. What?
It's a crime.
I hate it.
It's so bad.
No.
Let's talk about 14.
Yes. Thank you. I love it. I love it so much.
What would that be like?
Well, number 14 is Bella's a succubus. Which, hello?
I mean, it explains a lot.
I'm into it. She just lures in all these vampire bros, and ideally would kill them, but, sometimes maybe she falls in love, and that's fine.
And that's fine,
That's okay, whatever. Chase your bliss.
Can we please... Can we please talk about 10?
I don't want to.
It's fucking me up.
Oh my god.
It's a crime.
Number 10 is alleging, this theory is alleging that
Panic
Room... Panic! Yeah, didn't think we were going to talk about Panic Room on this podcast.
Oh, but I wish, though, so
It's
much.
a prequel to Twilight.
It says, first of all, Stuart's Panic Room character, Sarah, has diabetes. At one point, she has a seizure, and her treatment is delayed. This could be why her blood smells different. Bella is notably quiet and painfully shy, which could have resulted from the stress of being stuck in a panic room and having her life threatened. Plus, Foster's character, Meg Altman, moves to New York after a divorce. Maybe her ex-husband is Charlie Swan. This would be a wild origin story, is all I have to say.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, Jodie Foster entering this saga would not be the wildest thing.
That would be very good.
Yes. But it's not fair to her, is all I'm saying.
One of these, I feel like, is a theory that we've had on this podcast. That's number 15. Vampires just need sunscreen. Which,
fair.
Either I or you or both of us at one point have talked about.
Yes.
How if they just wore foundation, it would be fine.
True.
They'd be chill.
Yes.
Sunscreen probably plays with the same thing. We're just a little bit of coverage, a little bit of, getting rid of that UV light.
True. I think the one that fucks me up the most is not, I guess it is number 1, because they're just what is happening? And it's, Bella is a reincarnation of Edward's soulmate. And and so what they're trying to say here is that when Bedward, what?
Oh my god, remember when we exclusively called him Ed Weird?
Oh, can we please?
What a fucking good time that was.
I missed that. Okay.
Anyway,
when
Bedward.
when Bedweird first meets Bella, he freaks out, right? Because he's like, oh shit, she smells so dang good. And then he later realizes that's not uncommon for them to taste good. Sure. And that they're known as singers or whatever. And that this leads to the idea of like reincarnations of his soulmates, which means that he's encountered her soul before and had just avoided her until this reincarnation, which in this theory must have led or might have led to more vampire human couples. But since it's hard for vampires to resist stingers, it's easy to see why like these kind of romances are rare in Twilight. But again, that kind of falls into Stephenie Meyer's idea of soulmates, so it doesn't seem that wild to me. So that's a lot of theories. That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of theories.
It's a lot of stuff happening there. Should we get to our listener emails?
Yeah. Let me change the size of my screen.
Great.
I can't see. This is from Lorik. Oh god, it's too big. The screen is too big. I made a mistake.
Lorik, stop.
Lorik, please. My computer is fucking
I
up
am
right now.
Lorik. Season 3, we take on our Patreon.
I'm in hell. Okay. I had so much fun catching up on Into the Twilight over the past 2 weeks. I was wondering if either of you had read Luminosity and Radiance. The popular Thanks. I haven't either, FYI. It is a popular 2-book fan rewrite of the Twilight series where all that's changed is Bella has ambitious goals for the world and is dead set on seeing them through. Haters have called this Bella self-centered, entitled, and a robot. Okay, the first one is absolutely true. If you haven't read it already, it's an idea for an end of show fanfiction, or I'm not sure whether you're looking for things to review after 50 Shades, but this is an idea. Ocean's 8 Bella, hell yeah, kicks ass. Apparently it subverts problematic aspects of Twilight and Bella, as she's a more take-charge woman.
Hell yeah.
And apparently it gets buck wild.
Hell yeah. Alright.
And has agency, maybe, so...
Is she an agency, though?
Ooh.
Is Bella a management company?
Bella is Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 8, the management company.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm a little turned off by the name. Luminosity and Radiance sounds like a Etsy makeup brand, if I'm being honest.
Right.
I
look at that and I'm like, I'm bored. I'm bored looking at it.
Oh, Cody, you need to go to the website, though. Nope, you need to go to it right now.
Okay, I'm there. Oh. No.
Oh, yes.
Oh, they're two. Okay, I get it. Oh my god.
It's so old.
This is father time. Oh god. It's a website. Let me set the scene for the listeners. It's a black background with white text, which is all you really need to know, because every website that was made from 2000 to 2007 was black background and white text.
And the links are red.
The links are red, and there's like a little clip art red feather in the fucking corner, and everything's in Twilight font, and I hate looking at it.
It's so bad. Each of these books, okay, so the first book has 29 chapters. The second book has 53 chapters. Why? Okay, Jesus Christ. Okay, the second email I'm going to read in 2 parts. So, Keith sent an email, and Keith has one part that's about us, and the other part is about a fanfiction, which I will read later.
Nice.
Okay. So, Keith writes, about 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, I've listened to over 35 of your podcasts in a month. Jesus. Second,
so sorry.
I apologize. Second,
no one should ever have to do that.
Did someone force you by gunpoint?
Blink twice if you're not okay.
Bleat like a goat if you're fine. Second, there was a part of me, and I didn't know how potent that part might be, that is both aroused and terrified of you reading 50 Shades of Grey. Jesus. Okay, and third,
Yep.
I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with your podcast. Here's the fucked up thing. Not to you, Keith. I'm talking to Cody at this point. Sorry. I've been reading the word irrevocably for 10 years now, and every time I read that word, I still stumble over it. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I always want to do, like, irrevocably, and I'm like, that's not right.
It's not irrefnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafnafn Listen, words are hard. Okay.
Yeah, listen.
All right. I'm obsessed with your podcast because like anyone who went to high school in 2008 was also a twihard. A quote has all the books signed by the author twihard. I for whatever reason loved the books. I wasn't even the target demographic as a 6'5" white flamboyant middle class queer in Florida.
Yes.
Yet I loved those damn books. Like memorized the heights of the characters. Jasper is 6'3". Oh, ketchup boy. Type love. And thank you for making me revisit these books and remind me that they are literal garbage and I love them. Anyways, currently listening to Eclipse and I'm very confused by how on earth I could love that book as much as I did. And don't get me started on New Moon. However, on a better note, it's made me realize that we do not deserve Kristen Stewart's portrayal of Bella. Preach. She really does give the character a fragility that Bella needs to make any sense in the universe. So, thank you for your first part, Keith.
Thank you, Keith.
I'm proud of you for surviving in Florida.
Yeah.
Also, tell us more about meeting Stephanie Mark, please, and thank you.
Okay, yeah. Want to send us like a voice memo or like
is she real?
A whole podcast that we can put.
Yes. Yes, please record and tell us everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to know what her smile, like, does she really smile? Like, does her
she
lip
always look like she's trapped?
Yeah. Does she blink? Like, is she okay? I don't know what. Okay, have you watched this season of Daredevil?
No, I haven't seen any of Daredevil.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna tell you this part. It doesn't matter for like context, but there's this part in like the 5th or 6th episode of this season where the like big bad or whatever is talking to this girl that he's trying to impress, and all of a sudden he's like, anyway, and he just bleats like a goat in a coffee shop. And I have not been able to get it out of my head. We watched it like 2 weeks ago, and it shook me to my core, because I was not expecting this like quote unquote like attractive white dude who's supposed to be like, I don't know, whatever. He just like, and I think it was totally improv. That he just on set just like bleated like a goat, and I'm like, why? This is my nightmare scenario. Anyways, it's just my waking nightmare. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about my other waking nightmare. We're reading chapter 9 and 10. It's bad. What else can I say? You know,
it's real bad. I mean, we knew that, but also,
just
a reminder. It sucks.
I just wasn't expecting crime time. I don't know.
Like, we've been, like, tiptoeing around this whole, like, espionage, guns, murder, what's happening. We're now in, like, the thick of it, but in all the bad ways.
Exactly. And I'm assuming, like, we're gonna hit this climax because we're not even there. We're, like, a third of the way through the book. And none of it is interesting to me. I have no emotional connection to any of these characters.
No.
This chapter starts off with them waking up, as it ought to do.
Yeah.
Breakfast time. Anna seems particularly smitten with having granola and yogurt. Something that she became used to having on her honeymoon. She's, remember, like 22, and she's like, oh, this fancy new thing that I learned about in France.
Ooh. They only do this on the opposite side of the pond.
Exactly. Little does she know.
Aristocratic dinner. Like, what?
Little does she know that Chobani has those little, like, pears that you can just flip over, and they've got everything you need there.
It's been here the whole time.
Exactly.
Granola's been here always.
Little did you know, Anna, you can get this at McDonald's. It's called a parfait. So, we find out that Christian needs to go to New York overnight. He says later in the week. He means tonight.
Christian Grey also does not know how time works.
Exactly. Anna thinks that a helicopter will take him across the country. She's the owner of a company now. That's all I want to say. Anyways, she's like freaking out. She's like, the helicopter that just fell down in the sky. It can't possibly. Right. He's like, no, I'm going to use a plane.
Yeah, I have planes.
Then they get in this weird... oh. They get into this weird little quabble, being like, hey, did you know, Christian, that there's a gun in your desk? And he's like, yeah, obviously I did. Why? And she's like, well, it's fully loaded. And then they get into this weird, like, Second Amendment conversation.
Okay, y'all. Hey, guys.
Listen.
Hey. You know how we were like, man, I don't know anything about Anna. I wish I knew more about Anna.
I don't want to anymore.
I don't want to anymore, because y'all, this girl is anti-gun control. Like, legit.
Like, for real, though.
My jaw, I was reading this on the train, and my jaw, like, went to the floor.
It makes no sense with her character at all.
This whole time, I feel duped. I feel tricked. I feel tricked by fucking E.L. James's fucking agenda or whatever. Because, like, this whole time, Anna's like, oh, I'm a feminist, and, like, I love women and standing up for myself, even though I really don't do that in action or practice, but, like, I love thinking about it. And I love strong women. And then she comes out with this whole thing where it's like, oh, my dad, like, you know, all this upbringing, or her upbringing, and, like, military dad, and all these things about guns or whatever. And she's just like, you know, you really can you reserve your Second Amendment rights and, like, own a gun. I think that'd be, like, good for you. And it's like, sorry. And Christian is, like, very much like, hey, I, like, co-sign, like, gun control, like, legislation and support this stuff and, like, this whole thing. Meanwhile, Anna's like,
Anna's over here being one of the girls from Austin Powers where her boobs are made out of guns. It's so confusing. It's such a whiplash moment.
I can't believe in book 3 we are learning a core part of Anna's values.
You would
they
think
are completely, like, outlandish in terms of, like, actually her character that we know of.
Yep.
What?
You would think, because this seems, the way that E.L. James is portraying this seems fundamental to both of their identities.
Yes.
That this would have come up, I don't know, any point in the month that they've known each other.
Right, sure.
Especially given all of the, like, gun shenanigans that they've been in.
Right.
Yeah, I was very confused and shook by all of the facts that she tried to pull out here. Especially because she tried to be like, oh yeah, well, does Taylor carry a gun? Do all of your security people carry guns? It was such bullshit.
They're hired security.
Yeah.
Probably. All-star?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that goes with the job description sometimes.
And Anna, like, won't let go of it. She's like, you need to learn how to shoot. Like, you need to, like, take care of all this stuff. And it just felt so contradictory to everything that she's tried to portray as. Yeah, I was super confused. Anyways, she goes to work, and they go into their usual, like, email thing where they're talking. Christian's like, I've gotten so many compliments on my hair. Thanks. So glad that you changed your name. We do need to talk about the fact that when he emails her about Anna changing her name, he does a emoticon to show his excitement, where he does the, like, semicolon capital D smiley face.
Yep.
And I've never been so shocked in my whole life.
No, that's out of character.
Yeah, they both seem incredibly out of character this chapter.
Are they? Okay.
No. Something is happening.
Yeah. They got fucking body snatched and they're just different
for real.
people.
They're, like, flirting over email to the point where Christian is, like, signs his email off being like, CEO and ass man. I'm like, okay, bye. Christian ends up leaving for New York. He's like, I want you to stay home and hang out with Kate, because that's her plan. She's going to go hang out with Kate. Anna's like, I'd rather us just go out and have drinks like normal people do. And that, of course, doesn't go well. But, so, anyways, Christian's like, stay home. And she's like, sure, of course. As soon as Kate gets there, she convinces Anna to just go out for drinks. And so when the hired security comes, they, like, do as Anna says, while full knowing that they're going to tattle to Christian later. Whatever. Anna says that they're going to stay for one drink. They stay for way more than that. Kate kind of fills her in on all the scoop because Elliot tells Kate things, whereas Christian does not. And so Kate, being her, like, journalist background, wants to know and is willing to share because it's nice for the two of them to catch up. And so she gets the scoop on all these things, finding out more stuff about Hyde as well.
Yeah.
And then she got a text from Christian and an email being like, where the hell are you? Saying that, like, Sawyer had said and told them where they were. Whatever. She finally texts back and is like, I'm fine. All good. Things like that. They go back to the place. At Escala. Which, by the way, I went by Escala and, like, finally saw where that was this weekend.
Uh-huh.
It's not that fancy.
Damn.
Like, I think, obviously...
Exposed.
I know E.L. James, like, exaggerated it. Well, and obviously, like, exaggerated it. But
Sure.
it's next to... I didn't realize that it was next to this, like, my favorite Italian restaurant that in Seattle.
Uh-huh.
And when Chris and I were walking to it this weekend, I looked up and I was like, oh, that's it? Anyways. Yes. So, Christian's a piece of shit, basically. They get back to Escala and the house is wrecked, which seems to be kind of like a running theme with them.
Sure.
And we see that Ryan has someone pinned down on the floor, and that it's Jack Hyde. And that's how the chapter ends. So, Jack Hyde, he just won't let go. Jack, don't let go. But, like, for real, though, do. Chapter 10 starts off with Anna being tipsy and freaking out, which seems to be, again, very common for her. Just wants to have a good time out with the girls. Can't. Nobody will just let her have a good time. She's freaking out, trying to see if everything's okay. Mrs. Jones is okay. She comes to find out that Jack, anyways, came up the service elevator in gloves, and that pinned Ryan's attention because it's mid-August when this is happening, and why would he have gloves on in mid-August, apparently? And so he let him come up all the way through the service elevator since he was the only one there, and just pinned him down and knocked him out. So,
You know.
Yeah, sure. They needed something to secure him since he was knocked out, so of course Anna was like, oh, I know, I'll just go up to the Red Room and get some cable ties. That'll work just fine. And eventually, she decides to convince them to call the police, which all of them felt really weird about doing, and they never really explain why. Other than, I guess, they wanted Christian's approval. I don't know, did you figure out why?
No. None of this makes any sense.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I didn't care either. The only thing that I could figure it out was that they wanted Christian's approval.
Right.
So, finally, the police get there, take some statements, initial statements anyways, and then he wants Anna to come and take an official statement tomorrow, but there's a ton. One, it's super late, so he doesn't want to do it tonight. And also there's like a ton of reporters and like paparazzi downstairs, and so he didn't want it to cause more of a problem. She decides to go to bed, but not before having some food. Mrs. Jones makes her a PB&J and milk because she's 7. And she curls up and goes to bed. She wakes up in like really early morning to see Christian right beside her, in a suit, holding a whiskey, and he's only responding to her in one word, so like one syllable answers, and says that he's super pissed.
Being a child.
Yes, yeah, he's being typical Christian and not knowing how to process his emotions.
There's one moment where they're talking and he's trying to be vulnerable, but he's not doing it well. Where he's like, I don't know how to deal with these feelings.
Yep.
And it's so funny.
Yeah, it's gross.
But otherwise he's being the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to drink after being up all night, I can imagine. And he's trying to be angry at her, whereas it seems like he's, as usual, angry at himself and the situation. And the reason being is that he had obviously wanted her to stay home. She ignored that, and by ignoring that and being out of the house, it ended up actually making her safe.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that he says is that he's questioning his judgment. And that's not her fault.
Right.
But it's still making him mad.
Right.
So anyways, she ends up going back to sleep because he's mad and that's not changing. So when she finally wakes up for good, after like 2 more hours or so, Christian's still mad, but there isn't so much that she can do. And she meets him in the shower to try and, smooth things over. And he, like, resists her touch. And that does not work well for her.
No.
She takes it as, like, an immediate rejection.
It was so fucked up, right? Because, like, in this moment, Christian was being an asshole, but he was also, like, actively retracting consent.
Mm-hmm.
And she saw that as a personal attack on her, and she went back to being like, oh, I'm worthless, I'm undesirable, he doesn't want me, he doesn't think I'm pretty, whatever.
Right.
Which, like, is not what that was.
Nope.
Christian is dealing with his feelings in a poor way. And at this moment, does not want to be touched.
No, and
for
it's
many reasons.
And contrary to what he usually does, which is him processing his like anger and fear and sadness through sex,
Right.
which is what she has become accustomed to, he's being like, no, this time I want to process this on my own, which is...
Can you believe?
No, I can't.
And she's like, sorry.
And I think
doing?
she is kind of taken aback by that because it's
For
unfamiliar.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I think it's understandable in this situation for her to be taken aback. That does not mean that it's okay for her to like be like, oh, he doesn't want, like, that is not a good reaction for her to have. That is more indicative of the problems that she is dealing with and the relationship that they have. But I think that it was a healthy decision on his part to be like, nope, I think that I want to process this on my own time right now.
Yeah.
And there isn't a lot of times where we can be like, okay, Christian, you made a good choice here.
Right, this probably was for the best for both of you.
Yep. So, anyways, nothing happens between them, basically. He leaves her into the shower. She gets dressed, putting on clothes that she knows he likes. One of the things that he does say, actually, before he leaves is that Jack apparently wanted to kidnap her, and I guess Anna hadn't really thought about that when she had seen some of the duct tape next to him the night before. Anyways, she just, yeah, it's just, crime tape. That's just stuff you bring with you on an August evening.
That's just living in the big city, baby.
Yep. That's just
what happens.
Yeah. She tries to have breakfast. Tries to have breakfast with Christian, doesn't work. Tries to go to work, and Christian was kind of pissy about her trying to go in general after everything has happened. But again, he never really wants her to go to work, so that's not really surprising.
No, he's not really a fan of her having a job.
Exactly.
Conceptually.
The police person comes to take her statement.
There's some bad emails.
So there's some bad emails that happen because Anna wants to know when Christian decided to come back. If it was as soon as Sawyer told her, or as soon as Sawyer told Christian that she ignored his idea to stay at the apartment, or if it was when he got the tip that Jack was in the apartment. Because that signals, that's two very different motives.
Yeah.
One is him being a piss baby, and the other is concern for his family.
I must protect my wife.
Yes. And so he won't say which one it is. And so Anna goes off in this email.
She harkens back to, the drunk plain emails where she's just, furiously typing something and just sends it off into the wind.
Yep. There's a lot of caps.
A lot of caps.
And a lot of her being like, I'm your wife. Are you going to tell me? Or are you going to keep treating me like a child? Mm-hmm. Things like that. Anyways. So yeah, she meets the detective. She goes back to the house. And when she gets back to Escala, she sees Christian in his sex jeans.
Can you tell I'm ready for sex? I'm wearing the jeans.
The jeans that say sex on them.
I hope on the butt they're just sex jeans.
Yep. And that's where chapter 10 leaves off, is with him just wearing denim chaps.
We were making progress, Christian, and you did it again.
Yep. Are you surprised,
that
though?
Squirt bottle, yeah.
Hey. The problem is he might like that, That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
So, next week is chapters 11 and 12.
Woo!
Where, and I'm really putting my thinking cap on, there might be some sex.
I think with these jeans,
with that ass, there might be some
with
sex.
that ass in those jeans,
with those holes in those jeans,
with those holes specifically for fucking in your jeans.
Yeah, there might be some sex.
Yeah, maybe, but who's to say?
I would love to shout out some of our patrons.
Yeah.
What from our bonfire / get-bit merch?
Yeah. Which
one do you think Shannon Clearwater would wear?
Ooh. I'm gonna say a bit of an unconventional pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shannon's gonna be the white football jersey tee.
Oh my god, I was looking at the black football jersey tee.
Which, they're super cute.
Okay, I love it.
They're super cute.
Okay, so then
What about our gal, Katie Weber?
Okay.
What's she wearing? What's she looking fresh as fuck in this holiday season?
Katie Weber is getting the navy crew neck.
Ooh.
Katie is getting it a little bit big so that it's super cozy.
Just a nice, cozy little thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I love that too. So the second part of this email from Keith goes a little like this.
Ooh, let me know.
I wanted to send you the first fanfic I ever read because it will make you squirm in all the best ways. I was in college and wanted to revisit Twilight and also wanted something hella gay. So a friend of mine told me about this little thing called fanfic, and I ended up finding this gen. A 20-chapter, 150,466 word fanfic that is basically a ripoff of both Twilight and 50 Shades with a little bit of self-insert for good measure. It is titled, How to Turn a Straight Guy Gay, and has the tagline of, My name is Jasper Whitlock, and I teach straight boys the pleasure of cock. You're welcome.
Love a nice rhyme, you know? Love a good rhyme.
The plot is basically Jasper being a self-insert character who tries to seduce the straight Edward, and things get progressively sexier, with scenes that start with underwear, rubbing, and finally culminate with having Edward bottom for Jasper because this is fanfic. I honestly had no idea what I was getting myself into. I loved it, it's horrible, just like its source material, and I needed you to know about it. And then it is linked below, which I'm going to read so you know.
Oh boy. All 150,000 words.
So buckle up.
Let's go.
So again, this is How to Turn a Straight Guy Gay, and it was written by Lula. And published in December 13th of 2010. So almost exactly 5 years ago.
Gross.
Super gross. Okay.
Also, 5 years?
Oh, Jesus. 8 years. Where am I? Listen. Leave me alone. I'm in a different timeline. Okay. Chapter 1. It takes a great deal of savoir to do what I do. It's not a sport that can be learned or a game that can be played, but an art that takes a certain finesse and understanding. My name is Jasper Whitlock, and I teach straight boys the pleasure of cock. I, as a gay man, have absolutely no interest in another gay man. That isn't to say I can't be attracted to a gay man. I have been before, but the moment I find out that they are gay or bi or even curious, they immediately lose all appeal to me. I want bona fide, cunt-loving straight boys. I settle for nothing less. It makes life difficult. Oh yes, but the results are mind-numbing, toe-clenching, bone-jarring, body-aching. In the end, it's always worth it. There was a time when gay men were enough for me. That was before I met Peter. Peter changed my world around. When I met Peter, I was a freshman in college and just learning the ways of the gay, freshly open and out myself, though I'd been sure of my sexuality, and been with a man before I escaped to college. Peter was straight as they came, straight as an arrow, straight-laced, straight up straight. He was tan and buff and hot. He oozed southern charm. He was smart. He was perfect. I wanted him like you wouldn't fucking believe. End scene.
Wow.
Super wow.
So can I, from this point forward, identify as a bona fide, cunt-loving straight boy?
I wish you would.
Can that just be my tagline now? That's just who I am.
I wish you would.
I'll think about it. Oh my god.
The problem is that someday there's just going to be a supercut of me reading all of these in court somewhere. And I'm going to be like, Your Honor, I said, quote, it's not me.
I didn't do this. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm blushing. Oh,
Listen, we're going to hell anyway, so like whatever.
that's true.
Let's have fun on the way there, you know?
That's true. We're all crabs in the end.
Hey, full circle, baby. Full circle.
Oh, as we say in Seattle.
Get back.
This is an Earbud Media production. You can find us on Twitter at Earbud Media and listen to the rest of our shows. You can find this show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, as well as intothetwilight.show. You can send us an email at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can also become a sponsor of the show or buy some merch at intothetwilight.bigcartel.com. Our art is done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram, and our music is done by Eli Krause, you can find at Eli Sauerkraus and KrausFilms.com. The intro and outro is by KB Smith, you can find at KB__Smith on Twitter. You can find Allie on Twitter at Into Wild Places, and you can find me at Dyke Discourse.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.